Welcome to the FullyCrypto podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the FullyCrypto podcast, your home of quality cryptocurrency and blockchain news, reviews, opinion and more. My name is Mark Hunter and with me is our Maltese Falcon, Alex.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. It has been chucking it down all day. We're in the middle of a storm here, so it's absolutely chucking it down. It's a pretty grim day all round. But my day has been brightened significantly by what I received last night, which is the purpose for this podcast. Before we go into the detail, do you want to remind people of our dealings so far with a certain Mr. Robert Dunlap and his Meta One project?
Yeah. So, Mr. Robert Dunlap and his Meta One project is the worst project I've ever seen, ever heard about. The white paper is just absolute garbage. It's tosh. It's laughable. It sounds like it was written by a drug-addled hippie. Mark wrote about his white paper, outlining why it's just so terrible. And it's purely opinion. You can catch that in episode 4 of our podcast series. Do you want to tell us what he's just done now, Mark? How he's put the icing on the cake and made your day?
Sure. Well, late last night, I was checking my emails and I got through another beauty from Mr. Dunlap, which was a cease and desist order. When something comes through from Robert Dunlap, you never quite know what you're going to get. It really is the Forrest Gump box of chocolates, honestly. And he sent a cease and desist order, but the thing is, he has sent it on the basis. He starts off by saying Meta One Coin Trust has been damaged by this publication, i.e., my article I wrote back in March calling his white paper the world's worst white paper, which kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah.
So he wrote and said, Meta One Coin Trust has been damaged by this publication and has already filed notices to take down this article, which is true. He did write to us and claim we were in breach of all kinds of ridiculous defamation laws and this sort of thing, which we wrote back and said, sorry, no, that it's opinion. And I stated, you remember the email, I basically said he was wrong and he should cease and desist. So I thought nothing of it, didn't hear back from him. So I got this back. Meta One Coin Trust is being viciously attacked and defamed, and FullyCrypto is the publisher and now a conspirator of this most grievous action. So you're thinking, okay, so he must have found some kind of defamation law or some bit of law we hadn't previously discovered that's going to really take us to task on this. But absolutely not. What he then goes on to cite is he's copied and pasted from, like, you know, when you want to complain about a product you've bought, it's something you've bought and it's broken, and you've gone through all the stuff, all the regular channels, and they're not giving you money back. So you go into Google and you type in consumer law letter template, right, and you get that letter that has the exact, it's got the law and it's got the code. I demand through this subsection F, whatever. He's done that with the copyright, with the common law copyright notice, and he spends 2 pages going on about how we've breached copyright by using the name of the company in the article.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's never read a newspaper before.
No, that is his whole argument. I was looking through it again and again, and I thought, I don't understand what is his argument here, but he's basically saying that we are not allowed to use the name of his company in anything. We have to clear it with him first of all, which is just ludicrous. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if newspapers or any website had to clear the use of a word with companies before they wrote about them?
Exactly. It would take months and years to publish anything.
It's insane.
It's just not practical.
And we didn't do it for financial gain. Like, if we had pretended we were Meta One Coin to try and con more people, fair enough. But it's nothing like that. You can't claim. Well, I wrote back to him and I said, you can't claim copyright when it's editorial, privilege or whatever it might be.
Exactly. It's not like we're pretending to be Meta One. Fair enough. If we said, hey, we're Meta One News, come and get your daily Meta One News from us, fair enough, I could get that. But we just wrote about them.
Yeah.
And what's he want? $500,000?
Oh, no, he wants, sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes, $500,000 per each occurrence of use of the common law copyrighted trademark name, plus costs, plus triple damages. This is $500,000. I need to go back and check how much we owe him. We've racked up quite a bill already.
I'm just searching that now.
So while you're searching for that, the other bit I like is that he has basically said that by taking the grievous action we have taken, it's caused him and his company some sort of reputational harm, which is fantastic because the SEC and their case against him has caused his company reputational harm. The outing of him and his cohorts and the project as an entire scam has caused him reputational damage. What the hell has our little article done?
But I suppose, we've highlighted that he has no reputation and that it's a scam, and maybe he's just upset.
He's clearly upset.
Oh, he's very upset. He really pissed in his cornflakes.
So did you find out how much we owe him?
Yes, so I've done the math. We have used the word Meta 1 50 times.
Ooh,
At $500,000 a pop, that's 25 million we owe him.
25 million just for the use of Meta 1 that many times, plus, was it costs, plus triple damages? So once he has worked out, given us a ballpark figure of how much financially we've cost him, he can come and send us the bill, and we'll, of course, we'll look into that most thoroughly.
Yeah.
So that was the letter that I got yesterday. And yeah, so I replied to him and I said, basically, you're wrong. And no, we're not taking it down. And so what I decided to do was, I was just fascinated. I decided to do a bit more digging on this individual because everything we've learned so far gives you a certain idea about the kind of person that would scam all these people, get involved in what he's been involved in. And then after claiming to be a lawyer, and threatening us with, what was it, his legal prowess or something in the last letter?
Yeah, it sounded like he was going to...
Well, he was going to decimate us with his legal knowledge, wasn't he?
Yeah, abuse us, yeah. Didn't sound fun.
So I thought, what kind of person makes those threats and then completely misjudges the law to that extent? And I found out some nice little snippets of information on his background, his history, that I think it's well worth digging into. Are you ready to see how Mr. Dunlap has fared in court so far in his career?
I cannot wait. This is going to be so exciting.
All right. So he founded in 2016, I think it was, he founded something called the Clear International Trust, which is misspelt on LinkedIn, by the way. He's managed to misspell his own company name.
Oh, he misspelled our name in his letter to us as well.
Oh, yeah. He called us FullyCrypto or Crypto. Which
I can't even pronounce it. They put fully CRPYTO several times.
FullyCrypto. There we go. So he couldn't even get that right.
We should buy that name.
So he couldn't even get his own company name right, let alone the people he's trying to take to court. And so he became president of this international trust, and he called the company rather, a private placement investment bank. I don't know what a private placement investment bank is, but you kind of get the general idea. There's no mention of this company online anymore, but all we know about it through the SEC charge is that 2 bank accounts connected to this this Clear International Trust were where the ICO money went into. So anyone that bought into Meta 1 at the ICO, the money went into the bank accounts of this company. Now, bear in mind, this is the company run by the man who said he didn't want corporate fictions owning anything in Meta 1, humans only.
So he's just contradicted himself there. He's put, it's his own corporate entity, I suppose, but he's kind of broken his own rule there.
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, he has. It's gone straight into a corporate bank account. 2 corporate bank accounts, which is fantastic.
Oh, good old Robert.
All right, so while there, he sued Land Rover and JP Morgan over this repayment loan for a Land Rover. So he bought a Land Rover on finance, and he had at some point in 2017, he had $105,000 remaining on the loan, and they were like, oi, sunshine, pay up. So he, rather than using usual, normal human money, he used a quote unquote a registered instrument. Now that I've got from the legal papers. I had to do a lot of digging on this. Are you ready for this? What he basically said, he used something called the redemptionist movement theory, or vapor money, to claim this is how he was going to repay his loan. This theory, which apparently has been used by people in the past to try and get out of paying their mortgage back when they either couldn't be asked to pay or couldn't afford to pay, suggests that US Congress has never given banks the authority to extend credit, and thus banks act beyond their charters when they make loans.
What?
Right? So because Congress, apparently, according to this theory, has never officially given banks the authority to extend credit, He wasn't given real money, so he hasn't got to pay it back.
He was given a real Land Rover.
This is it. He genuinely used that as a reason. So this is a bit of a description of it. So proponents of this theory claim that banks create money out of thin air through ledger entries and bookkeeping tricks. Now that's not strictly wrong, but they do get instruction from the government to do it first. By depositing a borrower's promissory note without the borrower's permission, listing the note as an asset on the bank's ledger entries, and then lending a borrower back his own money. Since banks do not have enough real money in their vaults to cover the sums lent, which they don't, loans are not backed by actual money. The only real money is gold or silver. Paper money is worthless since it's created by an illegitimate Federal Reserve, making them invalid and creating no obligation for repayment. You can kind of get the theory, but as far as the legal system goes, as far as you signing a contract to borrow money and buying a fucking Land Rover with it, that is bullshit, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, someone who claims they have superior legal prowess should know that that's never going to fly in court.
Yeah.
It sounds like something... Okay, it sounds like something you read on like a conspiracy website or like a joke website, and he's just taking it way too seriously. Like I get where it's coming from. It it could make sense. It could be plausible. Get where they're going with it. But I mean, you're never going to go out and use it because it's never going to work.
It's like a very extremist theory in practice. It's kind of like someone saying they're not going to wear a mask because of these kind of really vague pseudo scientific things that have never been proven, but it's just something they strongly believe in. So that was the argument he tried to use, and he created, I don't know how he did this, he created his own little certificate with his name and this whole spiel I've just read out about how money isn't real, and you, by accepting this note, you're accepting my version of payment. And he gave this to them and they signed it to say, yeah, we've accepted it. But he thought, aha, it's like throwing money at someone, them catching it again. You stole my money. It's like, no, they caught the money, but they've not had a chance to look at it yet to see what rubbish it is. They accepted it and physically accepted it in a legal framework. Like, yes, we've got it. We'll look at it.
Yeah.
And then they looked at it and thought, what the hell is this?
It's like this psychology principle where if you're talking to someone and you just hand them something, they will always accept it. Like it's just something in your brain that takes it. You don't actively think, oh, I'm going to, what's this? Let me take it. You just reach out and take it.
All right.
So it's like he's almost done that. He's like gone, here, Land Rover, let's talk about cats. And then he's just given them this.
Okay, so let's say I'm a woman and I've given birth to a baby, yeah? I'm walking down the street with my baby and you walk by and I pick up my baby and I throw my baby at you. What are you going to do as a natural reaction?
Catch it, of course.
Are you then its father?
I hope not.
No, it's this idea. You've caught something, but you haven't accepted it in that term, have you?
True, exactly, yeah. You're just like, what's it someone's thrown at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if someone throws anything at you, you're just going to try and catch it or just get out the way.
To stop it hitting you as far as anything.
Doesn't make it yours.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So he tried to use this absolute con to try and get out of paying this $105,000 loan for this Land Rover. So it was marked as refused on all the documents and all the emails, and he still tried to claim it was his thing. So this all went to court. Immediately, Land Rover and JP Morgan filed a motion to dismiss because of just how laughable the whole thing was.
Yeah.
As well as him making this ridiculous argument, they also said the claims he made a load of other claims against them as well. They failed again and again and again. They list this whole load of things he got wrong because it says the cited provisions have no relationship to the facts and issues raised in his complaint. So what they're saying is that he made these insinuations and then failed to back them up with any evidence, and all the evidence he did provide spoke to a completely different set of arguments.
That sounds rather familiar.
Doesn't it just?
He's just taken another template, hasn't he, and sent it off.
Yeah. So he's this crazy guy who's basically saying, you stole my cat, and my evidence for you stealing my cat is that grass in my garden is growing 3 inches longer this summer.
It's called the cat's not walking on it, squashing it and eating it.
He's just got these two completely divergent things in one legal document. So how do you think that went for him?
I'm gonna guess it went very well.
You'd be shocked to find out he lost that case. The motion to dismiss was granted, and he had to pay, obviously, all the costs and the money back for the Land Rover, or give the Land Rover back. I'm not sure what happened exactly. So that was his first experience of defending himself, and he lost. Then in 2019, he was caught up with, this is part of Meta One now, he was caught up in this issue with this guy called Charles, it's Trois. I'm going to pronounce it Trois, because that's what I think the French pronunciation would
Yeah,
be.
it sounds a bit French.
Let's call him Charles Trois. So Charles Trois was apparently a 60s rock guitarist who then retired and owned lots of art. Now, art, we're getting to Meta One. He needed to raise funds because he got involved in all sorts of other scams in the past. So he needed to raise funds, and he agreed to sell the pieces of his art collection called the Vesely collection to Dunlap for $125 million. This is according to him. So he agreed to sell this collection to Dunlap for $125 million with a down payment of $37.5 million. Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that's how much Dunlap is saying he's got from money raised from the ICO. Do you think Dunlap had $37.5 million?
No, he probably doesn't even have 35.7 bucks in his account.
No, he didn't. So according to this chap, the money never came through, and it caused him stress, and he couldn't sell to other people because this Charles guy says that Dunlap was stringing him along saying, yeah, I can get it, just wait. And in the meantime, he couldn't sell the art to anybody else either who was interested. Also, he said, this Charles Trois said that Dunlap was advertising Meta One using images from the Vesely collection. So those images in the original white paper were from this collection that he didn't own. He was still in discussions to buy it, even though he had no intention of owning it. He said he owned it when he was advertising and marketing the whole thing.
That's amazing. So now we know why he changed his white paper and all the images, and we got gay Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly. So what happened? The San Antonio Express News got hold of this story, interviewed Charles Trois, and then spoke to Robert Dunlap on the basis of that. And then that was the time when he removed all the images for this Vesely collection from the new white paper and put out all the all the rainbow guys.
Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly. Yes. So this is all building up. Dunlap then sent a copyright infringement notice to the newspaper. Now, does that sound familiar?
Oh, I'm gonna guess it's exactly the same as we have.
It is identical,
just with a different name.
No, the same company name, misspelt, I expect. It was exactly the same notice he's just sent to us, but, and I kid you not, it was accompanied by what the newspaper describes as a blood red thumbprint. And it does.
What the hell?
It does. There is a red thumbprint by his signature. It is.
Why didn't
weird.
we get that?
I don't know.
Can we ask him for that just to prove it's real?
It's weird. Really, really weird. So this whole thing went through the court, and to keep things short, Dunlap represented himself, stuck to his old same winning formula. How do you think that case went for him?
Come on, I got to get lucky on this one. I'm going to guess he won.
He lost and was made to pay $25 million in damages.
How can he be forced to pay that much if he didn't have that much to buy the art in the first place?
I don't know. It's one of those things. It's a symbolic figure he's never going to get back. This chap. So
he's just owed it on paper somewhere.
Yeah. So he's played 2, lost 2 as far as this is concerned. The judgment was made for Charles Trois in June 2019. Shortly afterwards, Dunlap appeals. So there's a few important dates here I'm going to go through, just again to give you an idea of how crap he is at being a lawyer. August 19th, 2019, he filed his appeal late and was given 15 days to explain why he missed the deadline. So you've got a window after you've lost your case to file your appeal, haven't you?
Yeah. You've got, was it 30 days or something? I don't know what it is in the USA, but it's like 30 days here.
So he missed that date, and then filed the thing later and was given 15 days to explain why he missed the deadline. Right, September the 3rd, 3 weeks later, he missed the deadline, this 15-day deadline, and then he filed the same document, the appeal document again. Now, bear in mind, he was asked to explain why he missed the original date. He didn't explain that. All he did was file his appeal notice again.
Oh, God.
So the court's like, okay, you've got another 15 days. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You've got another 15 days to, again, explain why you filed late last month. So on October the 8th, which is the last day, he finally responds to this on the very last day he can do it, telling the judge he had not updated his contact details with the court. So he, in effect, didn't get the memo. So,
Probably went to his spam.
oh God. So from his own error, he didn't give the court his right contact details, hence why he didn't get the letter asking him to explain this stuff. So this is what he dragged on for 3 months by this point, and we got nowhere. Also at the time, he said he'd also paid all fees up front, including to the court recorder, the guy that takes all the information. October the 16th, so a week after this, the court says he has not paid his court recorder fees, which caused the court recorder to be late to one of the sessions. The court recorder says Dunlap didn't ask for details to pay him. So he apparently had no intention of paying. So he's then given 3 weeks to prove he has asked for payment details and also to pay up. We haven't even got anywhere with the actual appeal yet. This is just him trying to get his shit together. November the 1st, he pays up on the very last day that he can possibly do on the latest filing. Okay. In December, he's asked to provide a brief. He misses the deadline. So now we're into this year. January 2020, he is given 3 weeks to provide the brief and to say how this has not significantly injured his opponent in this. End of January, he files the brief on the last day, but it's rejected because it breaks all sorts of rules that you have to have when you're filing these things. He's like all this list of things he got wrong and didn't include. He's given another month to do it again. How many do-overs does this guy need? Seriously.
I mean, how many are we even allowed? They should have just gone, look, clearly, mate, you can't get your crap together.
They keep giving him
Just
chance
give
after
up.
chance. In May, he asked for a motion to dismiss. So we had nothing from January to May. So I'm assuming he kind of towed the line there. In May, he asked for a motion to dismiss and $500 million in damages because Charles Twa did not rebut a single claim made, and therefore he has conceded. That's the quote.
He conceded.
Yeah, so he's saying, he's using this weird logic again. He said, well, he didn't say, I didn't do these things, therefore he's conceded. No, he hasn't conceded because the case is still open. Exactly.
I would have given up if I was the court. I would have just kicked him out.
This was denied because he filed it at the wrong time. You're supposed to file motions to dismiss in the pre-trial stage, not the judgment stage. So he got his timing completely wrong, and so it was rejected straight away.
He sounds like the worst lawyer ever.
Would you hire him?
No,
Yes,
I wouldn't. I
he would
wouldn't.
damage-
Even if he paid me to hire him, I wouldn't do it. I mean, probably because he won't even pay me.
No, he'd damage your reputation and lose you the case straight away.
Yeah, I'd rather
So-
my cat represented me,
Yeah,
to be honest.
he can't do worse.
Exactly. Can't do worse than losing every case you fight.
So that is the last update we have on this case. I'm assuming it's slowed down because of coronavirus, but the last update we have for that particular case is that he filed the motion to dismiss, fucked it up yet again,
Yeah.
and the case is still ongoing. That was in May. So it's pretty clear when you look back and you think in March, so only 2 months before he's trying to have this motion to dismiss and get $500 million off Mr. Twa, that's when the SEC opened their case against him. They froze his assets and they told him to pay all the money back to the ICO victims, plus fines, plus all these extra fines and things on top. So in March, he's like, shit, I have now got all my money frozen. I've got to pay all this money back. How am I going to get it? So that's why I think in May he pushes for this motion to dismiss because he's desperate for money by that point. It makes sense, doesn't it? You know, he wants money anyway, but
Yeah, he just wants it all to go away.
in March he knows he's going to have to pay a load back to the SEC, millions and millions of dollars, and so he tries to get it all back through filing this motion to dismiss and claiming this money.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait to see how this plays out, aren't we? Because I want to see.
Yeah,
What
so he
happens
has
there?
currently got
This is-
2 cases
this
on
is
the go. He's got
exciting.
this case against Charles Twa, which is now in the judgment stage, and he also has got this case against the SEC. The latest with that is that in April, he failed to appear for a video hearing. He couldn't even be asked to log in to the court's crappy website and have his video hearing.
I mean,
Yeah.
surely you couldn't even do that just in your underwear. Just put on a shirt and a tie.
Yeah, he couldn't even be bothered to do that. So the judge got really pissed off with him then and issued a warrant for his arrest, which is kind of cool. But it doesn't seem to have been carried out because whilst his co-conspirator David Schmidt he also missed the video conference. He was put in prison for this.
Isn't he the ex-senator?
I think so, yeah. He's now just a shiller of all sorts of nonsense, including chakra healing water discs.
Oh, God.
So neither of them appeared for this video conference, and Mr. Schmidt was arrested and sent to prison for a bit. He's since been released, but Dunlap wasn't. So somehow he got away with it. So the SEC is still after him, and the court is still going through judgment for his other case. So he's still got the time to fire us off these ridiculous letters. He is a very worried man, I think.
He sounds it. I think he's paranoid.
Yeah.
He's paranoid of anything getting worse. I don't think he wants people to be, abusing him, taking the piss, just in case his reputation gets even more damaged and he can't scam any more people and make more money.
Yeah, I think his reputation is completely dead now. Whatever happens in these cases,
he's got no reputation to defend or uphold anymore.
I mean, before it was like it was protected to a point by the fact that all his previous nonsense was all contained within legal papers, legal filings you've got to pay to access. But now all this stuff is out in the open. Whatever happens, he's going to get kind of screwed either way. So yeah, this for me, this is the last act of a desperate man.
Yeah, this is last ditch. He's, I don't know, he's like a soldier. He's been shot a few times. He's all right. He's not going to die instantly, but he's going to get infected. He can't walk back anywhere. He's just, he's on his last legs.
Yeah. So we will wait with bated breath to see what happens next. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of Mr. Dunlap, and I, for one, cannot wait to hear what happens next. Check out our Twitter feed at FullyCrypto for the latest on this case. It's going to be a cracker as it goes along, and I cannot wait to discuss it with you further, mate. This is going to be a belter.
Oh, it's going to be epic. I can't wait. We're going to keep going with this. We can't let this just disappear. It's too funny. It's too entertaining.
Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Alex, it's been a pleasure, and we'll speak about this again very soon, I'm sure.
Thank you. Yes, I can't wait. It's been great. I can't wait. Let's do it again.
See you soon.
See you guys. Bye.